Welcome to American Black Journal. I'm Stephen Henderson. The Michigan Minority Supplier Development Council saw a change in leadership this year when longtime President Lewis Green stepped down to pursue another venture. Sourie Robinson was selected to head the nonprofit organization, which assists minority businesses with certification and obtaining contracts. Each year, the MMSDC facilitates more than $26 billion in deals between corporations and certified minority business enterprises. I'm pleased to have the new president and CEO as my guest today, Sourie Robinson. Welcome to American Black Journal.
Thank you.
And congratulations on your new post.
Thank you.
We have always had someone from your organization on to talk about this really important work that you do, and we always start with sort of an update on where we are with minority businesses being able to get that certification, and then of course being able to get contracts, which means money.
Absolutely. Well, I'm excited. This is a wonderful time in the history of the organization, almost a 40-year-old organization here in the state of Michigan, and we really do look at the entire state. So I'm really proud to say not only do we have the $26 billion in economic impact coming from minority business enterprises throughout the state, but that's 170,000 jobs that are created because major corporations are working and partnering with minority business enterprises. So exciting time.
And give us an idea of some of the corporations that you work with and some of the businesses who benefit.
Actually, I'm really excited because when you look at the history of this organization, many of the major corporations that we see here, some of them headquartered right here in Southeast Michigan, from the General Motors, Ford, Fiat, Chrysler, but also DTE. DTE was a founding member of the Michigan Minority Supplier Development Council. But we also look at the west side of the state, and we look at Herman Miller and Steelcase, Kellogg's, so many power players in the corporate landscape here in America, based right here in the state of Michigan. Yeah,
and the way your organization works essentially is you help businesses that, and this is a big challenge for minority businesses. We know that minority businesses face lots of challenges that other businesses don't in terms of capital, access to things, resources, but certification to be able to participate in big contracts with large corporations, that's a huge gap that exists, and you guys help fill that gap. Tell me how that works.
Absolutely. It's so important that we legitimize minority business ownership. So part of what we do is certify to really attest to that legitimacy. A very rigorous process where we literally, there are on-site visits to your organization, looking at all types of financial records, birth records, truly verifying that the business is owned, operated, and controlled by minority business owners.
And that's actually a pretty controversial idea, right? There are businesses that seem to want to try to take advantage of minority contracts by fronting so-called minority owners or operators, and really it's not a minority business. So this process is designed to determine who is really supposed to be getting these kind of
Absolutely. Because at the end of the day, really the only thing that certification is doing for our business owners is getting them a foot in the door. Once in the door, they prove that they are just as good as anyone else. But unfortunately, yes, we do have those people that try to game the system, and our certification process is really a gold standard in the industry to really vet that. But more importantly, once they get through the certification process, the MMSDC is there to help them with development. So we provide everything from one-on-one consultation services to simply assisting them in making the connections that they need to make. We have a grant from the Department of Commerce through the Minority Business Development Agency, and that center is also housed within our offices. So that gives our members and our certified MBEs even more ability to be developed.
You mentioned the west side of the state earlier. I think a lot of people don't necessarily know that there are a growing number of minority businesses over on the west side of the state, just as the rest of that side of the state sort of comes up in the world economically. Do they face the same challenges as businesses here in Southeast Michigan?
That's a fascinating question. I must say, not only do they face the same challenges, but part of the beauty of the Detroit landscape and Southeast Michigan in particular, the automotive industry in particular, is that they've had this 40-year history. So they understand minority business development. It's still a very new thing there, right? In other parts of the country and certainly in Western Michigan. But we are making great strides there and have some very strong corporate players that are serious about leveling the playing field for all suppliers.
How supportive are the business groups in Western Michigan? I know that there's a West Michigan Business Development Group, I think is what it's called. It's similar to our Chamber of Commerce or Business Leaders for Michigan, I know, is the statewide organization. How supportive are they of this idea that, you know, minority businesses need extra help sometimes getting through the process to be able to compete?
Absolutely. I think one of the things I've been most impressed with in the state of Michigan are the plethora of resources. And even in those areas that are predominantly landscapes where minority businesses were not in the forefront, I find that there are many resources available through chambers and through various organizations that are set up to provide them. It's the same in West Michigan. So I think what you now see is the table really turning and them looking for the best suppliers. And in order to have the best, you have to have a diverse network of suppliers.
Let's talk a little about your leadership of the organization. Are you the first female CEO?
I am not.
You are not?
I am actually the second. The first female was like in 1979.
Is that right? Wow.
Imagine
who was that?
Sheila Rogers, and did a fabulous job. So I am excited to not have to deal with the mantle of the first.
That's right.
I simply want to continue a fabulous legacy with so many wonderful past presidents that have certainly made their mark in this organization. And really, I come from a perspective as a corporate leader. So I was a buyer. I ran a supplier diversity program. I created a program. So this opportunity in particular was very intriguing for me because it gave me the ability to help MBEs from a very different perspective.
Well, when you were working on that side of things, how did you find the landscape sort of changing over time? Was it here in Southeast Michigan that you were doing that?
It was in sunny Atlanta.
It was in Atlanta. Okay, very different environment, right? But did you see over time that things are getting easier or better for minority businesses?
I will tell you, I think the Great Recession was a wake-up call for many of us. That at the end of the day, good business is great for everyone.
Right? Everyone's priorities got aligned pretty sharply during that time.
And it's a good thing because it actually made the great businesses better and probably weeded out some businesses that perhaps weren't as strong as they should be. And the true goal of minority supplier development is great supplier development, period.
Right.
So I do think the landscape now that we've kind of moved beyond the recession and have those still pain points that are there that remind us daily to continue to be nimble and stay on top of our game. At the end of the day, I do think the landscape has changed in that now corporations are streamlining their supplier bases. So it is much more difficult.
It's much more competitive, right?
Much more competitive.
And in that competition, what are some of the other things that I guess we need to add to the support for minority businesses so that they can stay in contention?
I think that's a wonderful question. Truthfully, I think it all hinges on good alliances, whether they be strategic alliances, having minority businesses purchase from each other, so that you can build your foundation and your base by supporting others within the same size and class categories. But I also think there's much to be said about this notion of joint ventures and truly creating ventures and partnerships where minority business owners partner with a majority organization for a set period of time, but making sure that they're not just shams and pass-throughs, but truly legitimate knowledge. Absolutely, they're participating, they're gaining knowledge, they're gaining wealth, because at the end of the day, I believe Minority Supplier Development's primary mission is to serve our corporate members, but there's wealth creation that happens, and with that wealth creation, we're able to transform minority communities.
And I feel like we're seeing some of that here in Southeast Michigan. I mean, you think of some big name suppliers who have grown, and of course our former mayor, Dave Bing, was a really good example of a supplier that started small, got bigger, and was successful. And I do feel like there's some momentum pushing in that direction, right?
Absolutely. In Detroit and beyond, you know, we have suppliers like Andra Rush, a woman that has taken a business literally from
really remarkable story
from 2 trucks to a multi-million-dollar enterprise, and she's done that. But at the forefront, she's a great supplier to her customers.
Right.
But she's also employing people, many of whom were not employable 2 years ago.
Right.
So she's able to transform communities that matter to her.
Okay. Thank you very much for being here. We'll have you back.
Please do.
To talk
Please
more
do.
about minority